Yo, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to Kid Taj. Today we're going to be talking about Jusuf Nurkic, center for the Portland Trail Blazers. I'm real excited for this video because this dude has been doing big, huge things lately, and I gotta cover it. So yeah, without further ado, if you enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, an idea for a video down below, subscribe if you're new. Let's get into this. So I pretty much had to make a video on Jusuf Nurkic. This guy has been playing out of his mind since he got to Portland. He's been called a star. He's been called part of the big three of the Portland Trail Blazers now after just 8 games of basketball with them. And it's weird because I don't think anybody here, anybody in the NBA, community really expected that, this guy goes to Portland and he's just phenomenal. People didn't really think much of it. They're like, okay, Portland's got an okay starting center. This was a guy that I knew had promise. I know he had potential, even, in Denver as a backup. He never got over 18 minutes per game in Denver, by the way. The whole thing was just because, when you're on the same team as Nikola Jokic and you're a center, there's probably not going to be a whole lot of minutes for you. So this guy was never playing more than 18 minutes a game. And on top of that, he really wasn't that good. I mean, I do kind of want to say that because he had his ups and downs. That's what I will say. This was a guy that had a lot of talent. He did a lot. He did a lot of good things and a few bad things. He was decent, but he wasn't really able to show people that. So this season in Denver, let's just break the stats down. This season, 16-17, his third NBA season. He's 22 years old, by the way. In 18 minutes per game in Denver, he's averaging 8 points, 6 rebounds, an assist, a block. He's shooting 51% from the field. Okay numbers. But you're not really able to see enough of him just because of, he's not playing enough minutes. Just 18 minutes per game, a small sample size. You trade him to Portland, and in 8 games in Portland, he's averaging 30 minutes a game. He's scoring almost 17 points, 10 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 2 blocks, 1.5 steals. And he's shooting 54% from the field. He's been phenomenal. And not just offensively, the 17-9 or 17-10, I should say, because you round up 17 points and 10 boards. That's great in itself. But the defense, he's averaging two blocks and almost 2 steals. That's great. Take a look at his last game, for example, and you can see what type of potential this guy has. In a W over the Philly 76ers, this guy put up 28 points, 20 rebounds, 8 assists, and 6 blocks, which, that's only been done a few times in NBA history. And this is a third-year guy that's pretty much unknown until this week. The guy is now getting time. He's on a team that fits him well, a team that needs rim protection, and he's serving as the good rim protection. He's doing it well so far. And on top of all of this, Jusuf Nurkic is helping this team win games. The Blazers are making a playoff push now. They're in good position. They're on a streak. They're surging right now. And it's in large part due to him. He's come up huge in a bunch of their games. Yes, they've had kind of an easy schedule, but with 5 wins in a row, I believe, this team is hot. And he's been there 8 games. They've been great with him. And, if this team's in the playoffs, this guy, Jusuf Nurkic, he could be a real problem for some teams. And I think he just fits this team. I think, the Blazers really finessed the Denver Nuggets in this trade that they got him for Mason Plumlee. You might be like, oh, well, Jusuf Nurkic wasn't going to play anyway. Well, you could have gotten something a little bit better for him, first of all. And second of all, you could have gotten a guard for him. If you're the Denver Nuggets, you don't need another center. They picked up Mason Plumlee. Why? There's a reason you're getting rid of a center. It's because you already have your center of the future. You don't want to get another center in return for a center that's better than the center Anyway, but the point is that it didn't make any sense. This trade was lopsided, and the Blazers looked like clear winners. They traded a center that was decent starting center in Mason Plumlee for a guy in Jusuf Nurkic who's much better, younger, has more potential, fits the team better, plays better defense, and his assist numbers, 4.5 assists already for a center. Look, I know it's early, 8 games in, But how about adjusting to a team? Oftentimes you see new guys that shoot poorly from the field or something. They might not be scoring a lot because they're trying to find their groove on a new team. It's harder. But this guy, he fits right in. I mean, I think it's because this is a better environment than his previous environment. But they're giving him post touches. He's banging down low. He's huge. I mean, this guy is honestly bigger than almost everybody in the NBA. He can score on anybody basically because he's just that big. He's got good touch around the basket. He can spot up for a mid-range jumper. I mean, he's got really good offensive game, post-up game. He's not that quick. Well, you know what? I would say he's quick for his size. For how big he is, he's actually rather quick. He gets a ton of blocks. He had 5 blocks in the first quarter of that game. So, when we talk about just how good Jusuf Nurkic is, there has to be a lot taken into consideration because this is a guy that is talented. And I think people knew he was talented, but he also made a lot of mistakes, before. I don't know, maybe he still makes mistakes, but not as much. You're seeing him play a lot better. But in Denver, he made some mistakes. Okay, he's a lot of times, he didn't play well. But you saw flashes, you saw talent, you knew this guy was good at stuff, you knew he was a good rebounder, you knew he was a good scorer around the rim, he was big, strong, he had a lot of good tools. And that's why this guy has so much potential from where he's at now, a 22-year-old guy. He's joining the list of European centers or European big men that are emerging as potential stars in this league or superstars in this league, like your Kristaps Porzingis, your Nikola Jokic, guys like that. Guys that have just started playing incredible lately. And overall, just a young crop of centers that have been, or big men, you got Karl Anthony Towns, Joel Embiid as other guys who are centers that are playing incredible and just taking over the league. I mean, this is the new wave of big men, of great big men, and I think that it's going to include Jusuf Nurkic just because Jusuf Nurkic has shown he can bang with anybody. He's definitely going to be a starter on a team. He's looking like a star right now. He's looking like the third member of that Portland Big Three that is now forming, which is pretty cool. Great for that future of the Portland Trailblazers. They got a real steal in this trade. So let's talk about how good this guy can be. At 22 years old with these types of offensive tools, the sky really is the limit when I see a guy like this, because he's always going to be able to find his shot. It really depends on how good he can get his shot, because we know that he can get a shot off. If he's posting up, he's big enough to get good post position, and he takes up so much space that no one's really, it's going to be hard for people to block his shot because he's going to shoot from farther away from you. And he's quick. All of that being said, this guy does need to keep working on that post, to keep working on that mid-range shot, and even spread to the three-point line, because that will help him tremendously. You see the other bigs do it. The three-point shot and mid-range jump shot will help him drastically. I mean, if he can develop a solid three-pointer, this guy's a superstar, I think, because he's got basically everything else. He's a good rebounder already. He can play good defense at the rim. You just need him to be more versatile in terms of shooting. But we see flashes. I mean, what he can do down low. I mean, he's such a good post scorer. I think that any team that feeds this guy the ball, if he's on a team that can feed him the ball, then he's set. Because that's all he needs. He just needs touches down low, and that's how he can put in buckets and whatever. So definitely, I could actually see this guy, on a team, like, I'm going to try to predict future stats, but we take a look at a team like the Portland Trailblazers. You got Lillard and McCollum on this team already, two guys that are averaging 20-plus points per game. It's going to be a lot harder to get a lot of points, and it's not all about that, but I'm definitely saying that a team like this, in future years, if you keep the same core of Lillard, McCollum, and Jusuf Nurkic, and you get some good role players around them, this could be a real good team. And I think that, this guy, whether he puts up 25 points a game or 17, he's still going to be extremely effective, and he can grab a ton of rebounds, and he can protect your rim for you. So I'm saying, on a Portland team, in a few years, he could put up something like 23 points, 10, 11 boards, 1 or 2 blocks at his fullest potential, I think. Maybe not his fullest. Maybe that's my prediction, and that he's capable of that. If he's on a team that gives him touches and whatnot. Now, if he's on a team by himself, where he has to do everything, then we could see this guy doing what, Karl Anthony Towns does, or Anthony Davis did, or stuff like that. I mean, Anthony Davis actually just had 46 points, 21 boards tonight. So maybe Anthony Davis is still doing it. I'm just thinking because DeMarcus Cousins joined him in New Orleans, maybe his numbers are going to go down a little bit. But no, not really. He's still doing it. Jusuf Nurkic could actually have a season where he puts up like 27 points and 12 rebounds a game. If he's on a team where it's like, well, I got to do everything. Now, if he's on a team that's stacked and he's like the superstar or the second best player or third best player on the team, then, you could see him putting up anywhere from 18 to 23 points and 9 to 11 boards. Something like that. That's really good. That would be really good. But I have big hopes for this guy. He's young and he's just getting better. I really don't want to see him be that guy that just fades after a few good games and just never is that good. Maybe I'm jumping the gun here. You let me know in the comments if I'm jumping the gun here. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, idea down below. Subscribe if you're new, and I'm out. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.